So when we're setting up multiband compression, the first thing we need to do is determine where our frequency bands need to sit. And so to do that, we can solo a specific range and listen to just that area. And this will help us determine where we should set our frequency limitation. So as we move the low, mid, and high control, these three controls here, you see that creates 4 divisions. And so those 4 divisions are responsible for the actual compression that's occurring, or this is the range in which the compression will actually occur. And so we want to set those up to meet the needs of our source and to be able to control each region of the source as necessary. So I'm going to play the track, and we're going to go ahead and solo some specific areas, and you can listen to the settings that we have here, and we'll give it a shot of listening to specific regions.
Strongholds now surrender.
And you can hear there's not too much going on in those real low frequencies, so I'll usually keep this around 200 or so. There you heard a low note.
For there isn't one.
Let's move on to the low mids.
And for every fear.
This is a really important area of the voice. This often is kind of what lets you notice that this is a human voice. It provides a lot of body and resonance and character to the voice. So this is a really, really, really important area. A lot of the energy of the sound of the vocal comes from this particular region. So we want to make sure that we have this band set up properly as is necessary for each singer. If we're using it on something other than a voice, this area is often a very, very important region in audio to make sure that we have that set properly. That's definitely a high priority.
He has overcome. He shall reign forever. Strongholds now surrender. For the Lord our God has overcome. Who can be against us, Jesus?
So I usually set that up to control the mid-range, and we really want to make sure that that is targeted to the right area of the voice.
He has overcome. He shall reign.
So we're familiar with this region for sure. This is usually the region that feels a little bright or piercing or aggressive depending on where the voice is at in its register. In upper registers, sometimes this can get a little harsh and overwhelming. However, in lower registers, we need this region to provide clarity to what's being sung. So this is also a very important region.
He has overcome. He shall reign forever. Strongholds now surrender. For the Lord our God has overcome.
And this really depends on the singer. I'll try to dial this region in for wherever their voice hurts the most. So often you can look at what high frequencies you're EQing out. If you're EQing out 2K or 2.5 or 3K, you can kind of center that in this region. So that will allow the kind of more aggressive and somewhat piercing parts of the voice to be controlled by this particular section.
He has overcome. He shall reign.
And this is the last region, the highs. And this is kind of those S and T sounds, the clarity of the consonants. And this is an area that can get really, really aggressive and sizzly and harsh if we're not careful. However, if it's missing, it can also make the vocal feel kind of dead and lifeless and not feel very kind of inspiring to listen to. So we want to make sure that this region has a leash on it. Multiband compression is great for that. So we're going to provide this section with the attention it needs to make sure it doesn't get too bright, too aggressive, but to make sure it's also present to make sure that the consonants are clearly understandable in whatever is being sung.
He has overcome. Strongholds now surrender. For the Lord our God has overcome. Who can be a defender